I'm Ben Carano, and today I'm taking you to work with me to show you how I make money subcontracting doing excavation. Ever since I was young and capable of making money, I've always tried to be entrepreneurial and find my own independent ways that I can create businesses or find ways of making my own income that are not just working a normal 9-to-5 job, since that never really appealed to me. And subcontracting is one of the ways that I can be freer with my schedule, be able to choose something that aligns closer with something that I really enjoy, as well as just making me a lot more money than I otherwise could find in just an average 9-to-5 job, because I can work for people I know, people who know my skill, and be able to make a higher income to support all of my passions of music, mountain biking, filmmaking, and all of the other creative projects that you see me do on this channel. So with that, buckle up your seatbelts and let's go do an excavation job today. And here's where we make the switch from my little golf cart to the bigger boy. I definitely was not planning on towing with that little Tacoma. So I think now we're going to head over to the gas station, fill up the reserve tank with some diesel so that I can fill the equipment, because we're going to be pulling a little tiny excavator, super small, and a little tiny loader up into the mountains today. So I'm going to fill up the reserve tank on this thing so that we can have onboard fuel up there, since it's going to be pretty much in the middle of nowhere. That's what I heard anyway. So I'll see you guys at the gas station. Alright, here we are. Just filling up the big aluminum tank right back here. And that's got its own pump and nozzle for when we get up to the job site to fill all the equipment up.
10 hours later.
So this is what we're picking up today. These two ones, the little tiny excavator and the little loader. So should be good to go. I just gotta get everything all hooked up. And then we can make our way into the mountains, probably just over an hour drive away. It's definitely going to be a fairly heavy load with both of those in the back there, especially on the little trailer here. It's going to be pretty heavy toward the back there. All right, friends, I have arrived, and what an amazing spot this is. That's the house here, definitely in the middle of nowhere. A creek down there, nice views of the mountains, meadows. God, I love this area. All right, let's get to work. All right, so this job will be running a sewer line from the crawl space of that house and tying in to the new septic tank right over there. And basically there should be a Y connection right under this green paint that will connect into to go into this tank. What happened is that the homeowners had this new tank put in, and they claim that the old tank was entirely abandoned, but the sewer line under the house just runs directly down into concrete apparently. And we have no idea where the sewage is going, because when they flush the toilets and run the sinks, it does not go into the new tank, even though they claim it should. So we're basically going to run a new sewer line, but first we got to take a look at what the heck is going on in the crawl space there and where the water is actually going. So come along with me into the dark, dingy dungeon below the house. I brought a pipe wrench just in case the crawl space monsters come out. But I think this will come in a bit more useful for taking off the clean out to actually check if water is going through the pipe. Probably that's what we're going to use it for. So this is the main pipe underneath the house. This is actually a pretty clean crawl space overall. And like I said, it literally just goes right down into concrete. We have no idea where it goes. So the plan, I think, is going to be to cut it back somewhere right in there, continue a section that slopes down, and we're going to drill through the side of the crawl space over there to bring it outside the house so we can go from there into the tank. But what I'm going to do here is attack this clean out monster with the pipe wrench so that we can actually see if any water is coming down through this pipe when I flush the toilet. Alright, it looks like we won the fight against this crawl space monster. That came off. And now I'll leave it to you guys to let me know if there's any water coming through that pipe when I flush a toilet. Oh, it's definitely spraying out of there. I guess I wish you guys would have told me sooner so I didn't have to make this mess. Well, that confirms that this is, in fact, working, and all the water from the house comes down through here. For those of you wondering why we can't just get a camera in here or anything and figure out where the pipe goes, we actually tried to put a camera in here, sewer scope, turn the corner and go down there, but apparently this 3-inch stuff goes down to 2-inch underneath the concrete, and even the small camera we have does not fit in there. It appears to be clogged and not working very well, so we're kind of surprised that it's not backing up yet. But either way, we still have to replace it, because even if it is going somewhere, like to the old tank, it is way too small and not to code, and it's probably going to cause problems in the future. So we will indeed cut it here and tie down to the foundation and out into the other tank. So let me start getting these slopes all figured out of where we have to be at the foundation over there so that we can get the core drill in and poke a hole in it. Crawl space monster spotted. All right, so I've ran into a little issue out here. Before I do the measurements inside, I've realized that the foundation wall here on the front of the house is entirely exposed pretty much all the way down to the footer. So I think the plan is, from the inside, I'm gonna try to mark where it has to be. We're gonna do a really hefty slope on that pipe on the inside and drill through the foundation as close to the bottom as possible here so that we can just come out and then down into the ground. And then we're gonna mound some dirt up on this footer area so that it covers the pipe. All right, I've plugged up the clean out so that I no longer have to smell the smell of heaven. And then we're gonna slope that pipe really, really sharp all the way down to here. We're probably gonna be core drilling really close to this footer here and then slope from here all the way up to where that pipe is, which is gonna be a pretty steep slope, but nothing wrong with that. We don't really have to do any measurements or calculations. That is more than enough. The code requires 1/8 inch per foot. That's probably gonna be over 1 inch per foot. So we'll be totally fine here. And I really feel sorry for Gandalf right now. He has to do this every time he walks into Bilbo's house.
Just tea, thank you. Oh!
All right, X marks the spot. That's where we're gonna be drilling in from. The pipe will come out probably to about here, turn 45 degrees to just go deeper into the ground so that we can get some dirt over it. And then it'll run out that way, buried underground. And now we gotta go expose where we're gonna be hooking up to so that we know how much of a slope we're dealing with. Alright, so supposedly the connection where we're connecting up to is in this area. So I'm gonna dig around for a bit, just going nice and slow. Hopefully not break anything, so I can find the Y. Apparently it splits off and goes to the garage as well as the house. And so we're trying to connect in somewhere over here. I have no idea what I'm gonna find. That's always the most fun part about these jobs. But hopefully I just don't break anything or cause any big problems. Well, I'm kind of surprised I have not found it by now. This pile's getting sizable, and I'm definitely thinking I'm probably gonna break something at this point. I'm kind of surprised it's not in this area. The green markings were kind of right there, but there's this massive rock in the way, and I don't think that was put in after the fact, but who knows? It may have been put in after the fact. It'd be kind of weird though. I then proceeded to remove the giant rock just in case the pipe was actually under it. You'll also notice my constipated facial expressions. This is because of my emotional connection to the machine and all the hard work I put it through. I know, I need to learn to relax and realize that the petroleum is doing the work here, not me. Well, I found something. Not really what I wanted to find though, or break, but there's still no pipe. So I found a wire. I have no clue where this goes. It feels like I'm very deep right now, and I've dug everywhere, even around the markings, and I still don't see any pipe. So I guess I'll try to hand dig and find the other side of this wire, but that's gonna be another repair. All right, well, found the other side of the wire I broke, and another wire, and I found a pipe, but I have no why, so I guess I'll keep digging around, but at least that's a good sign. It's very, very deep, and I know I broke something because I heard a crack, so it may have been the Y, but I'll keep digging around in here. All right, well, I found the Y, and I definitely busted it, but what's really weird is that this is still 4-inch SDR 35 pipe, and apparently it was supposed to be 2-inch, and it's going up toward the house, so we have no clue where they hooked the pipe up. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have some repairs to do down here, but I guess I'll just keep digging back and following this pipe back toward the house and see what's going on here. It's very weird to me. It's almost like the guys who installed the new tank and the new line hooked it up, but they hooked it up to the wrong thing, because it's definitely not coming out of the pipe from in the crawl space there. All right, so I followed the pipe back a little bit, digging this trench over toward the deck there to the side of the house, and right here it turns 45 degrees and heads off that way, which makes me think that this pipe was basically just an extension off the old tank, so that when the old tank gets full, it comes off into this pipe and then goes into the new tank. Either way, I'm not sure what's going on, and the customer just wants the one tank to be in use, which is the one over there. So we're just gonna bypass this all together and run a new pipe and forget about it. But yeah, that's interesting. So I'm just gonna start digging from the house now, and then essentially I'm just gonna connect the two trenches somewhere right in the middle. And we're gonna definitely have plenty of slope because that pipe is very far down. So I'm just hoping I can get as far under the deck as I can, and then that's what we'll use the little baby excavator for if I can't get super far under there with this one. But I'm actually able to reach it out fairly far with this big guy. I just have to be really careful not to be hitting the deck, because that would definitely be bad. It does seem like we're running into some pretty big rocks here in the middle, because this area has never been excavated before. So whenever you're digging an area that's either far away from a foundation, but because the pipe doesn't run through here, it looks like we're going to be dealing with some pretty large boulders. So we'll hope this thing can get through them, but if not, I've got the 1,000-pound rock breaker. Yeah, there's a lot of rocks in there. And it's raining now. but we're making some good progress. Almost finished connecting the trench. Just got to put that little end right into there, and we should be getting pretty close. I've definitely been removing some pretty massive rocks. You can see over there.
It continued raining for a bit as I finished digging the trench, and then suddenly something pretty crazy happened.
Man, it's kind of crazy out here. Holy! Oh my god!
Yep, the excavator got hit by a lightning bolt, but thankfully the plow was on the ground, so it wasn't too bad. Once the rain had cleared, it was then time to go grab some squeegee, which is like a fine crushed gravel, kind of like pea gravel, that is supposed to go underneath the pipe, helps bed it properly and keep it from settling over time.
Alright, we are back with the squeegee, and what I've done is pulled in that way and then backed into here. It was kind of tricky to come up with the plan, I guess, but excavator's over here before I back the trailer in, so that once the trailer's backed in, I can use the excavator, pull that squeegee out and put it in the trench, basically to bed the pipe, and then the truck can unhook from the trailer and then pull forward that way and then back up to squeeze between the corner of the trailer over there and that tall grass to hopefully make it out of the driveway. Now it's time to kind of repair that Y, put the squeegee in and start putting the pipe in. All right, got the Y repaired down here. So now we're ready to run the pipe all the way up. Trench is looking good. Old pipe is out of there. And all the way up top here, the driller came. So we've got the hole in the concrete. A nice looking spot there to come right out and down. So we should be good to go for pipe now.
Once I was done installing all the pipe, it was then time for one of the most satisfying parts of these jobs, which is filling in the trenches and making the lawn and driveway fit all back together to look super nice like it did before I tore it all up. It's always really satisfying seeing the giant dirt puzzle come back together and see how close I can get it, or even make it look nicer than it did before I ripped it all up. And of course, the grass will grow back in time. I then took the compactor and ran it over the driveway just to ensure that all the dirt was well settled and packed together since the surface would be driven over. Also just gives it a nice hard surface and promotes better water drainage so that it doesn't get too muddy. It's kind of just as satisfying as mowing a lawn except for dirt.
And here it is, all finished, looking better than new. I took all the big boulders that I was pulling out in the trench right here and just continued to line them up along the driveway. And as soon as it rains, it'll wash off all the dirt and everything on them and make them look really nice. So I think it turned out really, really good. I'm very happy with it for sure. Hopefully the customers are too. And that brings this video to a wrap. So I hope you all enjoyed coming along on this project with me. it kind of gives you a sense of what I do for work to make the money I need to fund all of my creative passions and projects as an entrepreneur. So do be sure to subscribe if you want to see more of that and all of my amazing ventures on this channel. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Cheers.